Okay, so we are now going to pick one problem and do the next step, which is coming up with possible solutions. So the problem I am going to choose is one that I see at South Elementary all the time, and it's one that I am actually guilty of having as well. And I'm sure everyone in the world has had this problem at some point in their life. All right, I'll move out of your way. All right, so the problem we are going to focus on is that we are late for school. So we're going to pretend that we are at home and we are running late for school. So now we need to do the next step in problem solving, which is coming up with solutions. So I'm going to run through this one with you, and then you guys will end up doing one on your own. So one possible solution if we are running late is to just not come to school. So this happens all the time. And I wrote stay at home, skip school. And this happens. We have kids who they're running late, so they just decide not to come. So before we move on and think about another solution, I want us to really think about the types of consequences that might come along with staying at home. So obviously you're going to fall behind in class. Every day that we miss, it's a big deal because we just fall behind. We didn't learn that day and everyone else was sitting here learning, and it's hard to catch up. You also will probably miss out on some fun. You'll miss out on seeing friends and just being around people. So there are some consequences if you stay at home and skip school. Let's think of another possible solution for running late. We could skip breakfast, right? I have done this before. So this is a possible solution. Maybe if we skip a step in our morning rituals, we'll get to school sooner. So what are some possible consequences that might come about if we skip breakfast? Obviously, hunger. You're going to be hungry and you might not learn as well, right? All right, let's just think of one more possible solution if we're late for school. All right, the obvious choice, just be late. So, right, it's another solution. We might just be late. Sometimes people are late. So, I mean, what are the possible consequences? Tardy slip, right? You might miss the morning. So if there's activities and stuff going on in the morning, you might miss them, or morning recess. So we have chosen a problem. We are late for school. We have thought of possible solutions. We could stay at home and skip school. We could skip breakfast, or we could just be late. And we've also thought about the consequences or what will happen if we do these solutions. So if we stay at home, we'll fall behind in class. We'll miss out on some fun. If we skip breakfast, we're going to be hungry. And if we just allow ourselves to be late, we'll get a tardy slip and we might miss the morning activity, morning meeting, stuff like that. So good job. Now, in the video, the next step was to keep going, to keep coming up with solutions if you don't like these. And that kind of goes back to having pride and perseverance. If you feel like none of these solutions would work for you, then yeah, you do need to keep going. But I think we could probably pick one. I know myself, and I would probably skip breakfast, which isn't the best option for kids because you guys are trying to learn. And if I skip breakfast, I could probably go on my break or something. So it's different for me. As a student, you guys would just have to make your own decision. Every one of us is completely different, and we all need to make our own decisions. There's actually another option, which would be skip breakfast and get breakfast at school. So there are so many solutions. These are just some solutions I came up with. And then you would choose one. And if you didn't like them all, you could change them like I just did. Skip breakfast, but get breakfast at school. So that's how you solve a problem. First, you have to figure out what the problem is. Then you have to come up with multiple solutions and think through really slowly each solution. What is going to happen if I choose this one, right? And then if you can't find a solution that you really like, then you just keep going. You keep trying to come up with solutions until something fits, right? Persevere through, find a solution to your problem. All right, great job, guys. So now what you're going to do is you are going to go back to that one problem that you came up with first when I asked you guys to share with the class. What is one problem? And you are going to go through these steps. So I want you to get out a piece of paper. At the top, I want you to do just like I did. I want you to write what the problem is that you have had lately. And if you can't think of one, you can all think of one. If you can't think of one from today, that's okay. You can think of one from the week or from the month. And if you really can't, then raise your hand and the teacher could assist you. But really, I'd rather you not, because that's not solving your own problem. So pick a problem, put it at the top of the paper, and then I would write 3, come up with 3 solutions and do kind of like I did, the dots with the possible consequences. So like if your problem was you can't find anyone to play with. I had a kid come to me this week and say they couldn't find anyone to play with. Then you could write out your solutions. What could the solutions be for that? No matter what you pick, write out your solutions, write out what could happen if you choose your solutions. All right? Good luck.